Okay, today we are going to be ranking the Clash Royale cards by how likely I would be to let them watch my child if I had one. I would never have a kid though, because I'd rather be a wall breaker than have a kid, if you know what I mean. Okay, so let's go through our tiers. We have certified. This is someone who I would definitely let watch my child. Then we have the fun uncle. This is someone who would be a little irresponsible, but I would still trust them. Then we have the nanny cam. This is someone I would not trust, but in a pinch, I would let them watch my child. Then we have the kid alive tier. This is someone who would probably destroy my home or worse, but my kid would still be alive. Then we have like the criminals, the people who would probably teach my kid to like steal or gamble or something like that. And then we have the cards who deserve immediate jail time and should never be around a child. Okay, skeletons. Skeletons is tough. There's 3 of them, so they should be able to handle a child, I would think. I do think they'd keep my child alive, but I would probably never hire a walking skeleton to take care of my child, much less 3 of them. How am I even supposed to communicate with them? And they all have swords, which is dangerous around a baby. Then we have the spirit. E-spirit's a tough one, right? Because I have to assume that any touch to my child would actually electrocute them and kill them. So jail time. Murderers cannot watch babies. Same with the ice spirit and the fire spirit. All 3 of them would probably instantly kill my kid, so we can just go ahead and take them off the table. Next, we have the bomber. The bomber is an interesting one because he is still a skeleton, but of course he's got a bomb, which I think firmly places him into the criminal tier. See, the bomb I feel like is a lot more unpredictable than the swords, right? The skeletons with the swords, they could hold the baby in one arm and they could have the sword in the other, and there's a chance that, you know, the baby survives. But if the bomber has the baby and the bomb explodes, it's just cooked, and so is my house. Okay, next we have bats. How on earth are bats gonna watch a child? Jail time. Next we have the berserker. The berserker is also a child, so I think my kid would probably turn out okay. I think they'd probably come back alive, but the house would be destroyed. You know, the fire alarm would be going off. The sink would be overflowing. It would not be good. Next, we have goblins. Now, the goblins have knives, but I feel like they're more cunning than the skeletons. So probably going in the criminal tier, I feel like they would just steal my baby and sell it on the black market. Same with the spear gobs, and we'll go ahead and put the goblin gang there as well, because they're all kind of the same bunch. Snowball cannot watch a child, neither could Zap. Both would fry or freeze my child, just like the spirits. Archers, this is the first fun uncle. I think the archers could probably take care of a kid. They might teach them how to shoot a bow and arrow or something. It's a little dangerous, but I trust them to give me my child back in one piece and my house to be fine. And I think that's our first real candidate for a babysitter. Arrows, I mean, come on. That's self-explanatory. A cannon, also self-explanatory. Firecracker is interesting. You may think that I'm going to put Firecracker in Fun Uncle, and I feel like the Firecracker has to be just in the Kid Alive tier. Normally, you know, the Firecracker, the Archers, kind of the same thing, but I feel like because of the explosives involved, it's much more likely that my child would get blown up. The Knight, certified. The Knight is just a decent dude, right? He's got a sword, but he's got armor. I feel like he would protect my kid at all costs. Probably the most trustworthy Clash Royale card out of all of them. Possibly. We'll see. Minions. This is a tough one. I don't quite know the nature of minions, but they do always... They seem to be a little evil, right? They're like little devilish, impish creatures. So probably in criminal. I feel like they would also steal my baby and sell it on the black market. Skeleton barrel. It explodes and drops a bunch of skeletons. I mean, jail time. The skeletons would pop out and instantly dice my child into a million little pieces. Royal delivery? This is like a Amazon, this is like a Uber Eats babysitter, right? You call in, you're like, hey, I want a babysitter, and then he gets delivered to your door. I'm gonna go certified. Fun uncle. Okay, the only reason is that when the royal delivery happens, there's a small chance that it could deliver on top of my house and crush both me and my kid. So we got to drop that lower. Skelly drags, horrible. I mean, this is almost guaranteed to set my house on fire and kill everyone in it. A mortar What are we gonna do? Launch my baby at the neighbor's house? Tesla, horrible. Barbarians, nanny cam. The Barbarians, it's a group of 5 guys, which is really weird. Okay, it's really weird if you think about it. Like, why on earth would we have 5 guys be the babysitter of my child? Very strange. But in a pinch, I would hire them and we just use the nanny cam, make sure nothing weird happens, okay? The Rascals. With the Clash Royale cards, it's really hard to tell the age of the cards, right? So is the Rascal Boy already watching children? I'm not sure. Also nanny cam. Assuming that the Rascal Girls are children, this guy's already watching kids. They are up to no good, but at the very least, I know he can handle some kids. That sounded really weird. Minion Horde, worse, significantly worse than criminals, right? Well, actually, I feel like it has to go in the same tier. Royal Giant. Get alive tier. So the Royal Giant, I think, would make sure that my kid stays alive, but he's walking around with that big cannon shooting stuff, so I think it's almost guaranteed that my house would get destroyed. Also going to put elite barbs there. So the elite barbs have like a more rambunctious nature than the barbarians, so I really wouldn't want them ever in my home, but I do think my kid would come back alive. Royal recruits. If 5 guys watching your kid was weird, 6 guys is definitely even worse. Nanny cam though. They've got shields. If I put the royal delivery in Fun Uncle, okay, I feel like royal recruits has to go in nanny cam. Heal spirit is an interesting one. So I have no faith that a spirit could watch a child and make sure it doesn't die. But if it did get hurt, it could heal it. So I'm putting this in kid alive. I think there's a very good chance that my home is burned to the ground or something like that. But I think my kid will be safe. Ice Golem. You know, I haven't thought about this one at all. I sit around and think about this whole topic all the time. So, but I never think about Ice Golem, so I'm really not sure. Kid alive. I think there's a good chance that my kid comes back alive as long as he doesn't have to interact with the child much, right? As long as the Ice Golem doesn't have to hold my kid or whatever, I think it's fine because he'll probably freeze it to death if he does have to like cradle a baby or something. But if he doesn't, then he's just chilling. He'll just hang out and, you know, kite any burglars or thieves away. So I think that's smart. Suspicious Bush. Criminal. It's literally 2 guys who break into your home and pop out with big sticks with rocks attached to them and then beat anything to death. So definitely criminal. Tombstone. Listen, if I'm gonna let skeletons, you know, if they're gonna keep my kid alive, then I'm very confident skeletons popping out of a tombstone will do the same thing. Earthquake literally kills kids all the time. Why would we ever even consider that? Elixir Golem is a pedophile, so criminal. If you play Elixir Golem, you're a pedophile. I think that's just clear. We all know that, so we can move on. Mega Minion. Mega Minion, I feel like has a different nature to the regular minions, right? There's something about Mega Minion that just makes him feel more trustworthy to me. I always consider the Mega Minion a good guy. I feel like if somebody plays Mega Minion, you just know they're an honest dude. So I'm going to put that in Kid Alive. Still probably an evil demon who might sell my kid somewhere, but better than the minions. Dark Goblin. Dark Goblin has to go in criminal, right? I mean, he's still a goblin, and I think that's all you need to know. Maybe I'm a little goblin racist. I'm not sure. So the barbarians go in nanny cam, but the battle ram, it has to go in Kid Alive, right? Because, I mean, they're going to ram down my door and ruin my home, but the barbarians will make sure my kid's okay. Furnace. I mean, if one furnace is going to kill my kid, a thing that spawns little furnaces, you know, you get what I'm saying. Musketeer. Certified. Good, honest woman. She's got a gun to protect my child from any home invaders. I think there's a good chance that my kid is like in perfect hands with the Musketeer. She seems honest and trustworthy. Same with Mini P.E.K.K.A. I know that might be a wild take, but Mini P.E.K.K.A. is just a solid dude, right? He can make pancakes too to make sure my kid stays fed. I mean, who wouldn't trust their life to the Mini P.E.K.K.A.? Hog Rider. Fun Uncle. I think that's so obvious. I almost don't even want to explain it. I mean, Hog Rider's a good dude, but he obviously is a little too rambunctious to be in the certified. But I mean, You get it. It's perfect, I think. This is just a gun that flies. There's a little dude. I think there's a goblin in it, right? Untrustworthy. Jail time. I mean, what more do I have to say? Battle healer. Absolutely certified. I mean, not only does she have a sword to protect my kid, she can also heal them. Could you really ask for a better babysitter? I mean, imagine she's watching your kid trips and falls and scrapes their little like knee or whatever. She could just heal them. It's wonderful. Fireball. I mean, no, I'm just kidding. Of course the fireball is going to jail time. Well, what is it going to do? Blow up my whole entire existence? Goblin Demolisher, criminal. Just because you're a big goblin doesn't mean you're not a criminal, and this guy's running around with explosives. Actually, I'm going to jail time. This dude's basically an arsonist. He's like a terrorist. Bomb tower, just as bad. I mean, well, criminal, actually. That might sound strange, but hear me out, right? You got a little kid. The little kid's sitting in the bomb tower. The bomber's protecting the baby from any horrible stuff that might happen by throwing bombs out. Actually, I'm going to put this in kid alive. I know we put bomber lower, but like the added safety of being up in a tower, I think really improves the chances of my child surviving. Diddy caged, I mean, jail time. Valkyrie? Valkyrie is going in fun uncle. I think she's like a fun aunt who would, I don't know, like she's like the fun aunt that shows up and hands everybody like $200 at Christmas or whatever, and then she gets wine drunk and things get kind of weird. But you know, I think we're good there. Spear Goblin Hut thing. Goblin Hut. I mean, it's got to go in criminal. We're spawning goblins. There's so many of them. It feels like they would like put my baby in a stew of some kind and boil her around and eat her or him or whatever, you know. Zappies. Little robots meant to electrify things to death, so pretty self-explanatory. Royal hogs, literally pigs. Pigs eat people, so they'd probably just kill and eat my baby. Inferno Tower. Would the all-seeing eye of Sauron in Mount Doom be a good babysitter? No. Jail time. Man, so many of these. Nanny cam for the wizard. The wizard is... He gives me pedophile vibes. He gives me creep vibes. Like, he's your 30-year-old coworker that works at your job and he constantly hits on the high school girls that are working there. That's the vibe he gives me. Always dislike that guy. So in a pinch, he could watch my kid, but absolutely would need the nanny cam. Giant. Almost certified, but I think he's a little slow, right? He's a big, gentle man, but he's a little, you know, he's IQ, like, so I think we're going to put that lower. I think he's a fun uncle. I trust him, but it's you're rolling the dice a little bit. A rocket, I mean, we're literally talking about military grade weapons. Under no circumstances would I allow that near my child. Elixir pump, I don't even know how that would work. Barbarian hut is interesting, right? This is almost like, would I let my kid go to the barbarian's house to be watched? I think my kid would come back alive, but that's definitely got to be way riskier than nanny cam. Things are definitely going on in that barb hut that I don't want to think about. So, like, my kid would probably come back fine, but it's a weird situation. 3 musketeers, what's better than 1, 3, or something? I don't know. I think they're fine, right? If 1 musketeer is fine, surely the elite musketeers have to be better. Mirror doesn't even make any sense. Goblin curse, I don't want my kid to turn into a goblin. Horrible. Barbarian barrel, this is going to be kid alive, right? The barbarian who pops out will surely take good care of my kid, but they're going to like roll through my door and break it down. So it's kind of like the battle ram in that way. Wall breakers, literally suicide bombers. I mean, in what world are they saving my kid from anything, much less, you know, doing a good job or not killing him? It's horrible. Rage, no, doesn't make any sense. Just going to make my kid angry, and then I'm stuck with an angry kid. I'd rather shoot myself. That sounds like the worst time imaginable. Clone, I don't need 2 kids. I already don't want 1. Void, super zap my baby into dust. No, thank you. Tornado, these ruin people's lives and kill kids all the time. No brainer. An army of skeletons, right? So if 1 skeleton keeps my kid alive, or 3 skeletons, I suppose, and A bomber, you know, can protect them in the tower or the bomb tower, and then the actual bomber is a criminal. What is an army of skeletons? I don't trust the army of skeletons, right? I feel like the army of skeletons would try and enlist my child into their skeleton war, and God knows what would happen from there. Vines, strangling my kid with vines sounds horrible. It's fucked up and evil. Goblin barrel, jail time, right? This is like, this goes beyond just being a goblin, right? This is like terrorist goblins. They get launched from a cannon at your home, and there's 3 of them, and they pop out and they all try and stab you to death. No. Guards, on the other hand, fun uncle. Okay, hear me out. If the skeletons would probably keep my kid alive, the guards, who are specifically trained to protect things, I think have a way better chance. I'm moving them up to certified. I think these guys have got it on lock. They would make sure nobody touches my house, nobody fucks with my kid, everything would be fine. I'd come back, and things would probably be better than I left them because they're so trustworthy. Baby dragon is literally a dragon. It would probably just eat my child, if not set my home on fire at the same time. Rune giant. No, I feel like none of us really get exposed to Rune giant at this point because she's dead, as a card goes. So, fun uncle. She also gives me like drunk wine aunt vibes, so I think that's safe. She does have 2 hammers and stuff, so I don't know. I think that's a good spot for her. Hunter. Hunter's an interesting one because he's like literally like feels like a fun uncle, but he's just not fun. He's all business. I feel like he could go uncertified. I feel like there's a good chance that he would just like take really good care of my kid. My house would be fine. Everything would be good. We'd be chill. Seems like a trustworthy dude, if not a little like rough around the edges. Goblin drill. Again, like a terroristic threat from the goblins. These guys have some issues. Poison. Self-explanatory. Freeze. Same thing. Dark Prince. So, like, I would trust the prince, right? We're going to drop the prince in certified because he just seems like a good, solid dude. Maybe a prick, right? Maybe a prick, but I think if I gave him the task of watching my kid, it would work out fine. Dark Prince, though, is evil and dark, so we're going to put him in fun uncle because there's no way they can be on the same tier, so I think that makes sense. The executioner, their whole job is to kill people. Criminal, jail time. Literally a murderer. Well, maybe, they don't deserve jail time, but they just go in that tier because they're state-mandated executions. And hopefully my kid wouldn't get that, but there's no way to know if you leave your... Who would you leave in the hands of an executioner besides someone you wanted executed? Balloon is unbelievably dangerous. Can you imagine putting your baby into a hot air balloon with a skeleton who throws bombs, and then they fly up into the air, and then you just have to hope that your child doesn't fall out of the hot air balloon? Horrible idea. Criminal for sure. They're like flying by in their hot air balloons, dropping bombs on people and killing them. The bowler. It pains me to do it, but I have to put him in criminal. I think the bowler is a solid dude. I think he's a great guy, but he just carries around a giant rock that one wrong slip and your whole baby is flattened into a pancake. And he's not the brightest guy, so I just see him like setting his big rock on the edge of the coffee table or something, and then he nudges it and it rolls off and your kid's crushed, and it's a horrible, tragic accident, but there's no way he can be trusted. Electro Dragon is just a dragon who shoots electricity, so it would fry my baby and all of my electronics. Cannon Cart is not sentient and is just a weapon. The Witch. The Witch is going into Nanny Cam. I almost put her in fun uncle aunt territory, but she's just a little too evil. And where does she get all those skeletons from? I mean, realistically, she's probably going to turn my kid into a skeleton to join her skeleton army so she can do whatever she's doing. I don't want any part of that. Goblin Giant, just a bigger guy who would steal my baby and sell it on the black market. Expo, weapon. Lightning, I mean, this kills people all the time. Giant Skeleton. Giant Skeleton seems like a solid dude, but he carries around a giant bomb. And if I'm not going to let bomber anywhere near my kid, you best fucking believe I'm not going to let the Giant Skeleton near my kid. So I think that makes sense. The Electro Giant is like the giant, but smart, but also covered in electricity. So there's like no possible way he could get anywhere near my kid without frying it. So jail time. P.E.K.K.A. Mama Pekka. I trust Mama Pekka with my life, okay? She's scary, she's intimidating, she's got the big sword, but she's a mama. She's raised a beautiful son, Mini Pekka, who, as far as I'm concerned, is also a stand-up gentleman. So I think they're a great, wholesome family, and I would trust them with my life. Gollum, diddler. 100% diddler. If e-Gollum players are pedophiles, so are the Gollum players. We know what's going on there. Under no sense. I'm gonna move the e-Gollum to jail time. I don't know what in what world I thought that was fine to put him in criminal only. Log. I'm gonna crush my child. Ice Wiz. Ice Wiz is a solid dude. He's intelligent. I get that vibe from him. Cunning, maybe. Nanny Cam. The only reason I say Nanny Cam and not Fun Uncle is I don't trust him enough not to freeze my baby to death. So, like, we would need the Nanny Cam as evidence that he froze my child and killed it, turned it into a little popsicle kid. But otherwise, to be trusted, I think. Royal Ghost. This is a tough one. Because the Royal Ghost has shown, even in his, ghostly form, he's able to interact with the world. So I think he would watch my kid and do a good job. But Fun Uncle territory, because he is a ghost. There's no point in even putting him in the Nanny Cam territory because he would just not show up on the Nanny Cam because he's a ghost. So I think Fun Uncle works. Bandit. Literally a criminal. I mean, what more can you say? She's going to teach my kid to steal stuff. Probably run away. Spirit Empress. Another card you don't see a lot of anymore. She has a dragon, but she has tamed it. She seems like a warrior kind of princess vibe thing. I think kid alive. I think I would come back and my house would be destroyed and there'd be dragon shit all over the lawn, but I think my kid would be alive. The Miner. The Miner. Nanny Cam. I think the Miner is generally a solid guy, but he's just a little too rough around the edges, a little too weird. He'd be digging holes in my backyard for no reason and stuff like that. So I need to keep a close eye on him, but I think my kid would be all right with him. Fisherman. This is just a dude who fishes. He might fish slap my kid, which would be fucked up, but Fun Uncle, actually. Not quite as trustworthy as these people on the top, but I think my kid would be safe. Princess. Another child. Fun Uncle. This is like when your older sister had to watch you when your mom left the house. I don't know why I use that example. I don't have an older sister, but you get what I mean. I think that's fine. Lumberjack. This is like letting a constant drunk person watch your kid, which is never a good idea. In a pinch, sure, like you'd want the Nanny Cam, but it'd never be my first choice, right? I'd be worried to like get in the car and drink and drive with my kid, and the rage spell would be splashed everywhere. I don't know, it'd be brutal. E-Wiz, same deal as the Ice Wiz, probably a solid guy for the most part. Maybe a little more evil than the Ice Wiz, but mostly, in a pinch, you need this guy. Hope he doesn't fry your kid. Magic Archer is a stand-up guy. I mean, just look at him. He's got it together. He's precise. He's intelligent. He's one of the best guys around. I think there's no question that he would watch my kid and do a great job. Night Witch. Same as the Witch, in a pinch, fine. If you really need him, actually, criminal. I think the Night Witch is more evil than the regular witch, and she spawns the bats, which I think would be way more dangerous to my kid than the skeletons. Because it feels to me as though the Night Witch probably has less control over what the bats do than the witch does. So, criminal for sure. Mother Witch. Fun Uncle. This feels like when your crazy grandma watches you and you're a kid. She is already a mother, so I mean, there's that. She's at least raised a few kids, so Fun Uncle territory. The Phoenix is a mythological creature who would probably not treat my kid very nicely. Inferno Drag is just a laser-powered dragon, so somehow even worse. Goblin Demolisher, certified criminal, jail time. I was going to say certified criminal, and he absolutely is a certified criminal, but he's literally got a mech suit to shoot rockets and destroy shit, so jail time. Graveyard, no baby belongs in a graveyard. Jail time. Ram Rider. The Ram Rider does not give me the same trustworthy vibes that the Hog Rider does. There's something, wait. Oh, that was, we're going to put this down here and move this back. Get alive. Okay. The Ram Rider doesn't give me the same trustworthy vibes. So we're going to go with Kid Alive. Actually, Nanny Cam. I trust her more than like Skeletons and the Berserker and stuff like that, but she's just a little too rambunctious. The Ram seems like it would like eat my house and stuff. Actually, we're going Kid Alive. I think Kid Alive makes more sense. Mega Knight, Pedophile. Lava Hounds is literally a lava dragon, so not really any better than any of the other dragons. The Sparky is a weapon of mass destruction. Little Prince has a guardian, so this is actually going in certified. I mean, if we take them as a package deal, this is like a guy who spends his time guarding a kid all day, showing up with another kid and be like, hey, let me watch your kid. I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's literally, he's got a guy whose whole job is watching kids by him, so I think that makes sense. Golden Knight. I hate the Golden Knight. I'm really trying to let my personal bias against the Golden Knight not cloud my answer here. We're going to go with Nanny Cam. Maybe you could argue fun uncle, fine, fun uncle. I think he's just like a regular dude. He's not really as buttoned up as one might wish for, you know, a babysitter, but I think he's good enough. Skeleton King, king of all skeletons. Nanny Cam. That might seem like a bold choice considering we've placed all the other skeletons lower, but with leadership comes responsibilities, and if he's able to keep the entire skeleton army together, I think there's a good case to be made that he would keep my child safe. He might recruit them into his skeleton kingdom, but that's what the Nanny Cam's for. The Mighty Miner. Fun uncle. This guy seems like a stand-up dude. He goes to his job every day. You know, he seems like a blue-collar kind of worker dude. Maybe not somebody you'd love to watch your kid, but, you know, he's a good guy. He's a stand-up dude, and he'll make sure your kid's all right. If they don't learn, like, they might learn a few cuss words from him while he's there. Goblinstein. Criminal. I mean, we're conducting weird reanimation experiments. You're a goblin. I mean, that's just 2 strikes against you. And the third is like there's an evil scientist. I mean, what more could you not want for someone watching your kid? The Archer Queen is interesting because she definitely gives wine aunt vibes. However, she's always got her feet out, which is just weird. Like she's a little too kooky to be in the fun uncle territory. So I think definitely Nanny Cam. I would trust her as a last resort. The monk. I mean, he's a monk, dude. He's literally a monk. What more could you ask for? Like, what a stand-up dude. He's old. He's, you know, thoughtful. He can deflect stuff and push people away with his powers. So I think that makes sense. I would trust him with my kid. Boss Bandit, criminal. I mean, she's like the bandit on steroids, like super criminal. What else could you say there, really? And that's all the cards. I don't think we'll cover the Evos or the towers. You know, I think this is a pretty good list. And here you go. Let me zoom out. Here you go. Here's my list of the Clash Royale cards ranked by how likely I am to let them watch my kid. Hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching.